Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions. And you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering All Her Fault, currently streaming on Peacock. I am on season 1, episode 4. We're going to try to finish out the whole season during this weekend. If you just hold on, and I'll get you everything you need as far as a review recap of what has been going on. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Let's get into this episode. Okay, so y'all, things are just starting to cook. We haven't gotten to the meatiest part yet, but this episode starts opening up some more information as to what Carrie got going on and whom also possibly has helped in kidnapping Milo. So the episode opens with Kyle Smith stopping by a convenience store. He puts several boxes of macaroni and cheese on the counter. As the cashier rings up his order, he watches the news report about the disappearance of Caroline Finch. She tells him that one of the boxes is open, and she asks if he would like to replace it. But he's so engulfed into the news report, he didn't really hear what she said. A composite sketch of Carrie Finch appears on the screen. He declines to replace the open box, pays, and returns to the car. In his car seat, Milo complains of being tired. So Kyle got him right now. Kyle promises to get him back to bed soon. Milo does ask, if it's going to be his real bed or a vacation bed. Kyle says yes as far as the vacation. And Milo asks if Kyle was famous. Kyle tells him that there can only be one famous person. And he places a handgun on the passenger seat. All right, it is day 4 of Milo has been missing. We get a little glimpse into Detective Alcarez's life. His wife, Casey, are lying in bed discussing sending their son, Sam, to St. Mark's, where he could be with the other children and have his own aide. They both want it for him, but it's too expensive. He says Sam will never be an a-hole and always good for a hug. They say that we're lucky in unison. The next morning, Sam is watching a cartoon, and Detective Alcarez and Casey tells Casey that a facial recognition of the man at the marathon didn't get any hits, and they haven't identified the nanny Carrie. She warns that if the photo is released, the suspect will know they're onto him. He kisses Sam goodbye, and later Alcarez helps Sam dress. I wrote down too much stuff. They dance to Happy Together. So happy together. The Alcarezes receive a text, and in his office he gives Sam Skittles before calling Jenny. That's Dakota Fanning's character. He questions whether Jacob would recognize the man in the photo. She asks Jacob if he will answer Detective Alcarez's questions. Jacob shows him his letter. Alcarez praises his work. Studying the photo, Sam denies recognizing the man. That ended the call. And Alcarez plays airplane with Sam. Lying on the sofa, Marissa calls Alcarez. He tells her that there are no updates in the case and recommends taking the man's photo public. She voices concern about what the man will do when he sees it. Alcarez urges Sam to be quiet. He's kind of being disruptive. Sam yells. Alcarez apologizes to Marissa. She reluctantly agrees to let him distribute the photo to the media. At Sam's school, Alcarez tells him that he loves him. Sam collects a box and he takes a seat at the nearby table. There's another person. Paul throws a tantrum. The teacher tries to calm him down. In a flashback from a week earlier, Rick tells Alcarez that St. Mark's has a lot of applications, but only one reduced tuition spot. He says the dean's son was arrested at a party last night for possessing Xanax. which he told the police was Tylenol. Alcaraz says that he will be ordered to do community service and drug rehab, and in a year, the charge can be expunged. Rick proposes a deal that will guarantee Sam the reduced tuition spot. Alcaraz will need to switch the Xanax with Tylenol. He refuses to risk his career to give a rich kid another advantage in exchange for Sam getting a basic education. He argues that the dean is in the position to help dozens of disadvantaged kids, but chooses to help one. In the present, Alcaraz watches Sam play and returns to his car. He scans the City Tribune article with the man's photo. At the headquarters, Detective Grieco tells Alcaraz that the prints lifted from the car matches Milo's. The parents and the people from the school. Detective Scully says no one at the school knew anything about the nanny. Sergeant Sakani informs them that Esther Bauer is there to speak with them. Esther is the one that Marissa pulled up to pick up Milo, and then found out, okay, Milo wasn't there. In the interrogation room, Esther lives at 1800 Crescent Hollow Road, the address that Marissa was sent to on that day that Milo was abducted. She identifies the man in the photo as her former foster child, Kyle Smith. So now we're connecting something, and we got to put something, on the table here. She says his aunt overdosed on Oxycontin when he was 16, and he was placed with her. Esther claims to have loved having Kyle and believed that he was happy with her. She shows them his high school graduation photo. When he turned 18, he lived with a friend in South Shore and got a construction job. Esther says that he was later arrested for selling Oxycontin. Alcaraz asks if Kyle ever mentioned Carrie. She says no. He refused to believe. She refuses to believe. Where am I at? Milo's kidnapping was coincidental. After the interrogation, Alcaraz updates the team. Scully tells them that Kyle has an active Illinois driver's license. Grieco confirms Kyle's drug possession charge. In scanning his prison record, he sees that Caroline Finch visited him a week before his release. Alcaraz names Kyle as a suspect in the abduction, and he orders Detective Maggi to obtain a warrant. So we're getting somewhere. So this Kyle person knows Carrie, and it looks like he was there at the marathon thing. From what we were seeing, it looked like he was very aggressive with Carrie, but since I looked ahead, that wasn't the issue, but we'll get to that. At the prison, Terry, Kyle's former cellmate, tells Alcaraz and Grieco that he was a project manager at Secure Builders in Crestline from 2017 to 2023. Alcaraz asks if Kyle ever mentioned a girlfriend. Terry says a woman visited him a week before his release, but doesn't believe that she was a girlfriend. He claims Kyle was withdrawn after that visit. Terry asks if she was the nanny. Grieco says yes. So Terry believes that Kyle is in South Shore. Upon leaving the prison, Grieco and Alcaraz narrowed their search for South Shore drywall services to 1 year Kyle's aunt's place on South Bennett Avenue. A short time after they stake out the drywall business, Alcaraz tells him about watching a documentary of old sanitariums. He says the mentally ill patients were drugged, shocked, and restrained, and he adds that mute children were locked in cribs. Grieco assures him that Sam is happy, and Alcaraz says Sam likes him, and Grieco attributes it to the candy that he gives him. They see an employee and race to catch up with her. It's Irene Murphy. Refuses to talk to them and boards a commuter bus. Alcaraz and Grieco are notified of Kyle not returning a 2019 Toyota Camry rented from a week ago. The GPS has also been disabled. On the bus, Irene scans a news article about Milo's abduction. She questions why Josie chose Carrie as an alias. So Carrie Finch is not a real name, which we did know, but we didn't know what her real name was. So now we're getting Josie. So Marissa tells Alcaraz that Peter Irving is putting up flyers. He tells her that the man in the photo is Kyle Smith, who spent time in prison for possession with intent to sell. He says Carrie visited him for his release, and he suggests the motivation behind the kidnapping is financial. She denies that they are handling a ransom, and she asks about his son. He says that he's 13 years old. She asks to see a photo. He reluctantly shows a Sam's photo, and she describes him as cute and happy. She believes that he worries about Sam more than most parents. He questions whether Peter received a ransom demand and never told her. Marissa assures that he wouldn't hide it from her. She explains that Peter likes to take care of people, which attributes to an accident involving his brother. That's something else to put on the table, y'all. His brother Brian, the one that's in the wheelchair. She believes his sister Leah is living with guilt, and Alcaraz admits to worrying about Sam getting cancer and not being able to tell them. He fears Sam will end up in a crappy public-funded home when he and Casey die. Weepy, Marissa claims to have promised that when Milo returns, she will never let anything happen to him again. She says that as parents, it is their job to do anything for their children. And he tells her that Kyle's foster mother, Esther, lives at 1800 Crescent Hollow Road. He explains his theory that Kyle specifically sent her to the only person who had been kind to him because he knew it would be the worst day of her life. I think that could be true. At Sam's school, his teacher praises him. He embraces Sam en route home. He gives Sam Skittles and reminds him not to tell Mom. So this is a little bit more heavy Alcaraz than it is about the Irvines. Sam gives him the yellow Skittles, and Alcaraz adds them to the collection in the console box. At home, Casey, Sam, and Alcaraz have dinner. Afterwards, he brushes Sam's teeth, unlocks a shelf, and removes a bottle of Tylenol. At the police department, Alcaraz enters the evidence room. He later sends Rick a text to say it's done. Alcaraz is in bed when he's notified of a big lead. The next day, he and Grieco, they arrive. Where am I at? Where am I at? Oh. The next day, he and Grieco arrive at the convenience store. Miller shows them, who is the cashier, camera footage of Kyle. She recalls that he bought macaroni and cheese, and Alcaraz asks if it was microwavable. Upon leaving, he says motels have microwaves, not stoves. Grieco points in the direction of rental properties. Later, Alcaraz shows Louise Carrie's photo. Is it Jacqueline or whatever it is? That woman from earlier. She says Carrie doesn't look like her. Oh, this is the rental property owner person. She says that the Carrie's photo doesn't look like her. That as far as the tenant that checked out. She shows them the rental. Alcaraz dons a glove and uses the remote to turn on the TV. A cartoon is playing. He discovers what appears to be blood on a glass door. Forensics is called in, and sitting in the car, Alcaraz receives a call from an excited Casey who tells him that Sam has been accepted into St. Mark's. She expresses happiness but feels guilty that the other children won't get the same opportunity. Diving Sergeant McNeil informs him of a body being found. Casey says that they are very lucky. Yeah. You're looking at now a body being found. We actually get the answers around like episode 7 or 8 or whatever, but yeah, this is getting quite deep and we're getting someplace in this whole situation. But Alcaraz did something funny to get his child into school. And I think that that's going to play into something later of a choice that he makes for some other people within this cast. So, yeah. And I'll point that out when we get there. But, yeah. We got Kyle. We got Carrie. So, And we know that Carrie's alias name or real name is at least Josie. Maybe Josephine or something to that nature, but we shall see. So let's get to the next episode. But until then, I appreciate everyone for coming. Like, comment, subscribe. Until the next one, peace.